Hi, Mom. She started.
Yeah. Ready? Alright.
Hi, everybody. It's 1909 on the 31st of March, 1992. And I'm on the Dubuque. I have duty today, so it gives me some time to show you around, show you what I do. And excuse me for being a little dirty and black eyes and stuff when I was inside the boiler today. And right now where I'm standing is the upper vehicle where they store the vehicles, marine tanks and stuff like that. Right behind is the well deck where they bring little boats in and stuff on our LCU. And where we are now, we're in a basin in SRA where the ship is being repaired. So you're going to see a lot of scaffolding, fire hoses hanging around, and hoses laying around, fire extinguishers, and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of ducking and getting dirty. So I'll take you down the engine room and show you the boiler and the main engine. And there's my friend Chris Barrett. Say hi, Chris. Say hi, hello.
That's your friend.
He's a dirtbag. So let's go down the hole. Right here is the main entrance to Mike 1 and Bravo 1. It's a normal hatch. You go down a ladder well, then you go down another ladder well, and here we go. Let's go. Here's the first stage. First you read the rules. Restricted area, unauthorized personnel, keep out. EOS, which is Engineering Operation Sequence System, which we follow every time we operate and secure or during a engineering casualty. It's smart, it's professional, it's the law, and you always have to wear your hearing protection when we're going down here during normal operational times. We should wear it now, but since it's after working hours, nothing's going to affect me and or affect the tape. Here's the second ladder we go down to. And here's the main entrance to the engine room. This door should always be secured at all times during operational times due to the fact that in case of a fire and everything, an explosion, it won't affect the whole ship. And also moisture won't build up into the main engine because it's colder outside, common sense, than it is in there. And after we're done securing an engine, we have to keep it closed. Like I say again, due to moisture building up into the main sump of the engine and the main reduction gear. So here we go. Right here where you're looking at is the main engine. This is the main engine. Right here I have my hand on the HP turbine, right here. And right over here is the main reduction gear. Reduction gear acts like your transmission on your car. If you don't have the reduction gear and you just have the propeller shaft going right straight from the engine to the water, the ship's not going to go anywhere due to the fact that there's too much torque. So the reduction gear slows down the shaft a little bit. And like I said, it's like your transmission on your car. It's a very expensive piece of equipment. The ship does not own this. The Navy does not own this. The Navy owns it. Excuse me, delay my last. The Navy rents this out from the manufacturer. D-Laval is the manufacturer of the turbine. Sometimes they have Westinghouse, so on and so forth. All the pipe work you see here, yellow means for oil. And the big pipe that you see with lagging right over here is what happens is the steam comes in. I'll show you where the steam comes in. Steam comes into the main turbine, comes out of the HP, goes into this pipe over here, shoots over, goes to the LP turbine, because whatever's left over, whatever the HP she doesn't use, she's going to fork it over to the LP, and the LP will use the rest. And they all work together. Pretty sophisticated at first, but once you've been down here for a year and a half like I had, you basically know what's going on. So So I'm going to show you the boiler part first, and then I'll explain the machinist made part last. So let's carry on. Right now, like I said, the whole boiler's torn apart right now due to the fact SRA. And the noise you hear in the background is ventilation. The ventilation always goes on 24 hours a day. Without ventilation in here, this place is like a morgue. It's dead. No air to breathe, so you always have to have some ventilation to move the air around. Plus, we're doing a lot of lagging work, so dust, we always have to wear a respirator and stuff like here. Right here is your exhaust fan, you know. Whatever air shoots out, whenever the air is not being used for ventilation, it's come back, goes out to the atmosphere. It's almost like exhaust. Over here, like I said, here's the boiler. This is the top half of the boiler. It's hard to show you the whole boiler due to the fact it's divided by deck plates and all this piping. It's like a human being. All these pipes are like the human organs, you know, like veins and stuff. And that's the heart of the system right there. Right here, you're looking at all this tubing here is the economizer. The economizer, what the economizer does, what happens is the water shoots through there. An economizer, it's almost like economy. What happens is the exhaust is from the gas is from the exhaust. Comes through the uptakes and goes through the economizer through here. What happens is it heats the water more. The water's going in there about 255 degrees, which is heated by the DFT, which I will show you later. Water's heated about 255 degrees. Then it comes out about 310, 315. So it adds, you know, about, I don't know, say about 50 to almost 75 degrees temperature to the water. And after that, it shoots into the boiler. Right over here, like I said, is the economizer. Right where we're standing right now is my watch station. I'm the upper levelman on the underway, along with two other guys. Well, one other guy, but another guy's being trained. So we're gonna have like about 3 or 4 upper levelmen. Soon, I'm being trained right now to be lower levelman. I'll show you that procedure later on. But what I usually do as an upper levelman, I'm standing up here and I'm watching my boiler upper level part. Right over here, what I watch is my boiler water gauge. It's about 700, 800 degrees of water. Well, I would say 700 to 750 degrees of water. Let's not go too high, about 800. But let's make it 700, 750 degrees of water. Right here. What it is, it's still water. But, I mean, it's steam, but it's confined, so it's going to show up as water. If this ever leaked, which it had on me once, it's going to come out like steam. Because atmospheric pressure is a little low, it's a little lower or higher, or whatever. But I'll explain that to you later when you have questions after I show this film to you guys when I'm home on leave, hopefully in May of '92. But what I do is monitor the gauge, boiler water level. What happens is, say hi. Hi. That's my UI. I'm teaching him how to do cold iron watch, which I'm gonna watch right now for another half hour. He's learning how to do cold iron watch, watching gauges and stuff like that. I'll show that to you later. So, what we do here, we watch the water level. We keep it at a normal water level. It gets sometimes hairy when we're rocking and rolling. You know, when we're doing a lot of lifts and stuff. Another thing is I watch my main feed discharge pressure, which is over here. We maintain that about 800 PSI. That's always maintained down there, but I'm the eyes up here. If the lower levelman in the BTOW, which is the boiler technician of the watch, does not see anything, and I do, then I report it. Same to you. Over here is your main steam, and it's usually kept about 650 PSI. And I watch that too. Bullshit. Bullshit. Excuse me for my language, but that's the way it goes in the Navy. But over here is the DFT. DFT is the very most important thing of the system. Three things that DFT does: it deaerates water, stores feed water, and preheats. 3 things of the DFT. I will quiz you after this film. And what happens is we usually keep that at about 800 to 1,000 gallons. But it's up to me. I usually keep it up to 1,000 to 1,050. Actually, it's up to my BTOW. So we keep it when I'm on watch with my BTOW, particular BTOW I'm on, we keep it at 1,000 to 1,050. The reason we keep it at that certain gallons is we get any lower water, like if we get any lower water than 800 gallons, we're going to start ruining the chemicals in the boiler, and the boiler's going to demand more chemicals because there's lack of water in the DFT, and all the system's going to flare up on it. You don't want to get it over 1,200 gallons due to the fact that the DFT won't work properly. You can, lose the load, as they say. When we say lose the load, boom, the boilers start. We have to secure the boiler because the main feed pump's shut because the water's not warm enough to go through the main feed pumps, and it flashes into steam. Over here, as I written in my letters to a few of you guys, over here in this little small room, there's 2 of them. There's one on the other side of the boiler. This is your 4-strap blower. Right now we're looking at 1 Bravo 4-strap blower. What this does is provides combustible air to your boiler. Without that, you're going to be smoking black, and you're not going to get a good steady flame pattern, and you're not going to get a good fire rate in the boiler, and I will show you that in the front. This is your electronic 4-strap blower. All it is a fan right over here. It's very simple. We open this up when we light off the fires. Before we light off the fires, and it brings air. We cannot use this during a normal operation because the demand and the load is too much for this. So that's why we go into a steam turbine driven blower. And when you go inside the uptakes, which I won't be able to take you into because it's too dark and you won't be able to see, it actually looks like the fan part and everything actually looks like an engine of a DC-9 or 727. It has that kind of diameter of a propeller to it. And let's see what else. So what happens is the air goes into the boiler and you get combustible air, and the air goes to the air casing. As a matter of fact, right in here, this right here where I have my hand, you can see. If I take my hand, put it over here, that's the air casing. Air comes through this thing right here. 4-strap blower comes through this air. On this side of this 4-strap blower, shoots down this air casing, goes through the whole boiler, makes a cycle, and goes out to the uptakes and keeps recirculating back and forth. The 4-strap blower over here is the same as this one over here, but instead of it blowing this way, it's going to go blowing that way. So you have 2 4-strap blowers to get my drift. So let's see, let me take you down the lower level here. Oh, by the way, this is the steam drum. Big little monster here. That's where we make our steam, our water. The water goes in here, flashes into steam. After it all gets heated up, and it comes up and it expands, and it goes through all this piping, which I'll explain to you later if I'm able to. Just bear with me. Right here, we are in Bravo 1. This is actually where we monitor our gauges. This is number 1 boiler, like I said above. Right here, you have a whole set of gauges. It's almost like a cockpit of an airplane, but it's a little bigger, and you can see it better, and you know what to do. These are your 4-strap blower RPM indicators. They tell the BT burnerman here, which stands about right here. And he's up over here is where he monitors the fuel going into your boiler. These here are your 4-strap blower speed, here. Increase it to make it go faster, decrease it to go a little slower, and these are there. I've been doing burnerman for a little bit. I used to do it for an hour through a watch just to learn how to do it, because when I become lower levelman, if we ever have a casualty, then my burnerman has to switch burners. As a lower levelman, I have to come over here and take over while my BTOW has to stand the watch and watch over everything. He can't leave the spot. You know, there's no seats or anything for everybody. So we get seats over here, we can just fall asleep after being on watch doing 6 and 6 or 18 and 6 watches, you know. It gets kind of tiresome, so you want to stand up, drink a lot of coffee, do your smoking, your cigarettes, cigars, which I do, or chew a little tobacco, which I chew once in a while. But over here, like I said, is your 4-strap blowers. Over here, which is taken out because it's going through gauge calibration, it's getting calibrated. It's an air gauge. It tells you how much air, PSI, is going through the boiler air casing, as I stated before, with the 4-strap blowers. We monitor that. You get to monitor everything. Over here is your fuel oil header pressure. It tells you how much fuel oil pressure is going in, PSI. Right here is your steam drum pressure, which is usually kept at 650 PSI. You want to keep it at 650 PSI mostly all the time, depending on the demand. If you get a full bell, we go full flank, what's going to happen? She's going to suck all that steam. So what the burnerman has to do is he has to keep going up with the fuel control, and he has to keep going up with the 4-strap blowers to keep a steady flame pattern so he's not blowing black smoke and all that stuff, and it gets the stacks dirty, as you can see. Overall here, you got your auxiliary steam temperature. I don't want to get too deep because then you won't be able to understand and I have to explain some more. Superheated steam temperature, that's your main steam, is your superheated steam. Auxiliary steam, which is run by your auxiliary equipment. Your auxiliary equipment is your 4-strap blower, your main feed pumps, and then your superheated steam temperature is run by your main engine, your your steam turbine generators, SSTGs, abbreviation, 600 PSI, superheated steam. Okay, I mixed up. These are your temperatures. Okay, these are your steam. So superheated steam is your main steam going to your main engine, to your main SSTGs. The temperature of this main steam, and then your auxiliary steam, and then your temperature. Up for a second. All the background garble you hear is my friend or my co-worker making fun of me, trying to make me laugh. Okay, over here is your engine order telegraph. I'll show you a bigger one up on the main control panel of the main engine. You know, you got stop, 1/3, 2/3, stand, full, flank, and then back you have 1/3, 2/3, full. You know, they haven't really changed much of the design of the gauge here. It looks like the one you'd see on the old ships, you know, World War II and so on. And then over here, you got your 2JV circuit here. You know, we can call, you know, we can ring anybody up. I'll give you a test here. Number 2. Well, it doesn't work. It's broken. But it gets used a lot. We use this just in case of our 2JV right here, which is our sound power phones. You know, this is the inner space. And this goes the outer space. This can go anywhere from DC Central on up to the main control, which we use. If we get a call from main control, which is on the upper ladder, which you can't scream because it's kind of loud down here when we're running, we usually communicate with them, or we communicate with the engine room back aft. I won't show you the engine room back aft due to the fact that it's the same setup as this, except you come in on the other side, the boiler's on the other side, and the boiler's lined up. The burners are over here and stuff. So, right here is the front of the boiler, okay? I probably sent some pictures home showing myself in front of the boiler front. Right here is the SSD safety shut-off device. What happens is I don't have a burner barrel here to show you. We all locked them up through an SRA to keep it preserved. What happens is we have 4 burner fronts. One here. These are called marine oil burners. There's 4 of them. They're made by the Babcock and Wilcox Company. These were made in 1977, and the boiler was made with the ship. The boiler's probably a little bit older than the ship right now, because it was probably the first thing that was laid, because it's laid in one piece. It's almost like a house. Right here, you got yourself your burner fronts, like I said before. These are taken out so you can go in and out of the boiler. I don't have a light in there to show you inside of the boiler, but what it looks exactly like a fireplace, except it's all around, and then on one side you have a bunch of tubes, and the other side you have another tubes, and then in the back you have a bunch of brick, excuse me. Okay, what happens is the fuel, let me see here, get it all mixed up. Okay, fuel runs over on this side. Okay, we got fuel lines coming from here. This is number 4, so you have a line running from over here, coming on this side. This is number 3. You have fuel here, and it shoots over to here. And then this is your steam side. You have steam coming through here, hooked up to here, and through here. It's usually about 150 psi steam running through here, and pressure varies to the fuel oil pressure depending on the demand of the load going to the main engine. We're usually anywhere from 100 psi on up to 210 psi of fuel oil pressure. Right here are your root valves. This supplies the fuel oil to the burners. Which happens is you open these up, when you light the fires in the boiler, you open them up halfway. Burnerman says, yep, we got 4 fires. Open the shutters, and whoever's doing it opens it all the way fully, and then close it to, cock it back to a quarter of a turn so the valve doesn't get stuck. Right here is your quick closing valve. Pull that in case of a fire, casualty, high water in the boiler level. Right here is your safety valves. We have 3 of them. They lift at certain pressures. The first one lifts, I think, at a 680, 690. And then goes on up to 710, but usually we want to catch it when it goes past 690, because if we lift all safeties, we might have to secure the boiler. When you secure the boiler when it's 135 degrees down here, it's not a picnic, it's hot. Let's see, what else can I explain to you in the boiler front? Okay, the burner barrel goes in here, the little hole, boom. Fuel comes in this way, the box here, a piece of pipe goes in. I'll explain it to you on a piece of paper back home if you guys have any questions. This is your EFP, emergency feed pump. We have 3 feed pumps. You have one Alpha main feed pump and 1 Bravo main feed pump. They're the same back gap. They go 2 Alpha main feed pump, 2 Bravo main feed pump. The reason they call it 2, we call it 1 is because we're number 1 fire room, they're number 2 fire room. You would go up as the fire room would expand. If you had 3 fire rooms, it would go number 3 fire room. This is 1 EFP. This is used if we're secured and we're done our jobs in the boiler and everything. And we want to fill up the boiler with water and stuff. We're going to use this sucker. The sucker can be used in 2 ways. One way we could use air, 150 psi LP air, low pressure air, or we can use steam. And this pump is really picky. Come to using shore steam. We'd rather use it when one boiler is lit off, because then we can use a lot of steam to get the sucker going. It doesn't take that much steam to go, but it needs consistent power of steam. And all these valves here, these are your manifolds. You got your suction manifold on this side, you got your discharge manifold on this side. One valve from this manifold goes to the DFT, the other one goes to back half. Over here, if I open this one, open these and all that stuff, I can fill the boiler or fill up the DFT. Whichever my BTOW says. I just learned how to use this thing. It took me a while. It's very stubborn, as I said before. I kicked it once in a while, get it going, it gets going. Sometimes you get a bruised foot and kick it, but we usually, it usually wins sometimes and it loses. Let's see. Right over here, I'm going to show you. This is the torch. I don't want to pull it out all the way, but this is the torch right here, which will light up on the end. It has like a cloth end to it. See it? You light that up, and you stick it in this little hole here to light the fire. I know I'm going back and forth things, but spur of the moment, this is no professional TV show. Okay, I'll show you the whole thing of an air register of one of these. These look like. This is an air register. You can see over here, it's red just like the ones over here. I'll show you. Here are your pins. These control the air. That's kind of locked up. Yeah, these control the air. Excuse me for the hose. This controls the flow of the air coming through. When air comes flowing through, the burner barrel sticks out here. Steaming air, steaming fuel mix, causes combustion. Get a steady flame coming out. What happens is, the air coming through these vents here, it's going to make a whirling motion. So what happens is the air is going to come out this way, come out, it's going to make a whirling motion. Out straight, what happens is the flame pattern is going to usually look like, okay? And inside it looks pretty. It's cute. So, let's see. So I showed you the EFP. Main feed pumps are over here. One problem main feed pumps on Liberty. It's the Japanese workers took it out last week and they're sending it to the States to get it rehauled. We can do it. We have to take manuals to do it, but it's a lot of time, and and there always has to be one or two people that have done it a couple of times to actually know what to do, because it's very technical inside. You have to use a lot of micrometers, a lot of measurements. You take something out, it has to be measured perfectly. Right over here is one alpha main feed pump. Learn how to use it, pretty simple. You got your turbine, 600 auxiliary steam comes in, boom, comes in this way, comes in down here, auxiliary exhaust comes out, goes back to the DFT to warm up the water in the DFT. These are your coolers. You got two coolers. You can use one, have one on standby. You have your inlet and outlet. What these coolers do, they cool a lube oil. What happens is lube oil goes in and the salt water is coming in from the ocean, comes in through here and cools in. It's the same thing as the force draft blower. We all have coolers on our auxiliary equipment, keep things cool. Got our main feed booster pumps right over here. They boost up the main feed going into your main feed pumps to contain a main feed pressure. Without those, because we can't have a fluctuating pressure in there. If we have a fluctuating pressure in the main feed pumps, they might shut because they have trip governors on them. So these suck in the water from the DFT coming down. Here's the main feed. I'm right underneath the DFT right now. Right here is another air duct. Here's main feed. So what's going to happen is the main feed's coming down, being sucked into the main feed booster pumps, coming out from the main feed booster pumps into the main feed pumps, back out to into the boiler. So this is the side of the boiler right here. This is the port side of the boiler. Right over here is directions on how to disassemble and assemble a burner to get it ready to put in. If it shows up on the film, here's what a picture of the burner barrels look like. This is the rack right here to hold the burner barrel. And right here, this is what a orifice looks like. An exit orifice. I have one I will bring home and show you. I have one that I gave to my father. He has one, so this would be a good explanation for you, Dad. So what happens is, excuse me for my voice, you got your steam orifice. Here's the orifice right here, figure 2. Okay? Turn it around, here's your exit orifice. Okay, it's all the same. So you got your main orifice here, you got your exit here, and then inside of it, you have your steam orifice in the middle. Steam comes in, and then you have your fuel oil orifice. And then what happens is, inside it's very mechanically good at design and precision measurement. It comes out together and causes combustion. If I have fuel oil right here with a bucket, I spilled it on the floor and lit a match, it's not gonna ignite, because the how do you call it? The flash point is not low enough or high enough. However you want to say. I got a book back in my rack. But if I mix it with pressure, with air or steam, I got to slow down a little bit. Air or steam, it's going to ignite. Well, what we do when we light off a boiler is we're going to use air first, because we don't have any steam, of course, unless Bravo 2 is lit up. What we're going to do is we're going to use LP air, anywhere from 80 to 150 psi air. Doesn't matter, as long as we have good air pressure, and that will ignite. Then we cut in our steamette, and I'll show you how that works up there. It's called your reducer. It takes 600 psi steam and converts it down to 150 psi steam. I'll show you that later. We still got more film, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if a friend of mine is filming this, I'll take the camera later and show you who he looks like. His name is Art Amos, and he's a pretty cool guy to hang out with. And then we have our auxiliary main feed booster pump over there, right down here. That's if one of these things decides to take a vacation, which has happened before, which happened about 3 weeks ago. I was standing right here in it. And this one, matter of fact, we just got done overhauling this. So that one's set to go. We're going to take this one apart. And I'm starting to learn to take everything apart. And it's taken me a time. I'm a slow learner on things. Some people understand. Okay. Now, behind the boiler, there's not much to see. It's dirty. It's not much, not much room. And I don't want to get the camera all dirty because the dust is flying all over the place. So I'm going to show you the MM stuff now.
Hang on a second.
What? Okay, now we're back. A friend just had to take a break and he's getting a little tired. Okay, right here is your scoop injection. Big valve, you can fit into the sucker no matter how fat you are. But I got big coveralls, 48 regular by the way. So I could go with a 46 or maybe a 44. But let's not talk about body sizes right now. You guys will see me later. So what happens is a scoop injection. Water's scooped up. Depending on how fast we're going. If we're going slow, we're going to use the steam-driven one, which this one is. No, that one's over there. Excuse me. This one's a scoop injection. We're going over so many knots. We can use this one. What happens is the water comes in, goes into the main condenser, cools down the steam, flashes it into condensate. So I will explain that to you later. I won't explain it to the film because this is not an educational film. This just shows you what I'm doing and gives you an idea of what an engine room looks like. So, right over here, is the main surf pump. This is used if we're going really slow. If we're going into a port or something and we almost stop, we're going to use this one. Right under here is the one of the condensers. This is 1 alpha, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 1 alpha SSTG. This is underneath of the SSTG. Basically, this engine room is basically built, around this equipment. But basically, this is the condenser. And all the water that's condensed down in here, I mean all the steam that's made in the condensate, goes into the DFT, which supplies water back to the boiler, makes it into steam and comes back. But not all the steam comes back condensate. Some of it evaporates and doesn't come back at all. That's why we have main feed tanks to supply the boiler. And over in here, basically, is all back in here is basically the fuel oil manifolds and stuff. If you want to switch tanks and so forth with fuel oil, you can. And I'll show you the shaft. That's a picture of the shaft. This is the shaft right there. It looks like a peppermint stick. The reason we have colors on it is so you can tell it's rotating. If it's a solid color, plain gray, plain white, gray, or blue, you won't be able to tell if it's turning, if it's going really fast. Because it's very important to make sure we know it's turning. And over here is where we purify our oil. Heat it up really hot, purify it. There's the big pump. Transfers the fuel. All the stuff you're hearing right now is they're reporting in, telling you all the engine rooms are all normal, secured, and shore power is up to snuff. Up in here, these are all power lines here and stuff. And these are warm. I guess they're supposed to be warm. There's a lot of power going through here, through the shore power and stuff. Also through the engine room. Right now, the only thing that's running in this engine room right now is the ventilation and the lights. Usually we'll pump the bilges, but we'll use air to pump them. So that's about it with lower level. Lower level stuff. As a lower level man, as a BT, what I usually do, and I'm learning, so I shouldn't say I'm usually doing, what I'm usually learning right now is how to operate the main feed pumps, keep them up to snuff. Fuel oil service pumps, which is turbine driven, two-stage turbine. Fuel oil service pumps supply fuel to the pump, coming to the boiler, to cause a fire inside the boiler. And also I help out light up the fires in the boiler, make sure everything's running safe. So that's enough for lower level. I'll take you upstairs and show you the main engine and everything. We're going to take a break for now. I'm back. I'm on get here, Schneider. This is my buddy Schneider, the one I was telling you about, Rick, you know. It's almost like Lurch, you know, he has to bend over and stuff. Hi, Lurch. So, say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Hey, he's from Michigan.
So he's a loser.
Yeah, Michigan's a loser. So, he's an MM, or trying to be an MM, he's non-designated. He didn't go to A school, which is no offense, you know. He doesn't want to become an MM, he wants to become something else. But when he's the messenger, what a messenger does is get coffee and make sure everything's operating correctly.
It's Cokes too.
So
Wakes
his
up our
name's Rick
relief.
Schneider, and his wife's name's Shannon. They have me over for dinner a couple of times. They keep me well fed. Lasagna, beer. Yeah. So we're in the upper level. Beer. Yeah. I love beer. Okay, now I'm going to show you the main engines and the throttles and stuff. Look at that. That's what beer does to you. Look at that. I'd like to get my hands on that pink belt. Come here. Hey,
Show him yours.
Want to go this way? Show him my tattoo. Okay, we cleared the area here. This is your throttle board. This is your head throttle. This is your stern throttle.
This is your penis.
And then this is your indicator, your RPM indicator. You got 100, 200, 300. And it also tells you how many times the shaft is turned over. Right here is your RPM order telegraph, which tells you what happens when the guy calls down from the bridge with this. That indicates 1, you know, so forth.
RPMs.
RPMs. Right here we drill anywhere from 0 to RPMs all the way up to 235. I haven't been up that high. The highest I've ever been, which we just did 2 weeks ago, was about 222, 221.
Which is 20.9 knots.
Which is 20.9 knots. Would you rather explain to this? Would you like to go home?
It's alright.
I'd like to go home.
Yeah. And I won't be going home for another month.
Yeah.
So, by the way, it's 19:54 p.m. Okay. Over
No, it's
here
not.
is
Oh, it's
like
not.
the
It
same,
said 9:07 for the last hour.
like the same gauge setup as they have down there, but this also monitors Bravo 2 and Mike 2 and Bravo 1, which is down there.
Which is another part of the shaft.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. This is Black, by the way. He's from California. For anybody like California, you know, totally tubular, dude. Service up.
Cool, bro.
Yeah. So this is a board here. You know, the EDO sits down on his big butt and drinks coffee and eats donuts and he monitors what's on the gauge and
uses
stuff.
one of these.
And uses one of these, you know, and then so forth. Oh, by the way, this is the engineering casualty control alarm. Don't do that. This is the engine control alarm. If there happened to be a fire in any of the engine room spaces, if you flick this on, this goes on off through the whole ship, and everybody decides to have a cow because they think it's a main fire, and the people that are not engineers or the engineers do not like to come down here and fight a fire. Since I've been on board, knock on wood, I have never
come down here anyway.
I've never fought a fire.
Usually means work.
And by the way, you explained it better than I could.
Are we gonna run around through the other one?
Yeah, I will.
To the shaft?
Yeah, you want to help me explain this, Art?
Alright, yeah, this is switchboards.
This is the switchboard. I do not know anything about the switchboard. The guy who's operating the camera, and I don't want to operate it because it's too expensive. He can operate it. He can
Turn the
talk.
lights out.
Turn the lights out. Too glary?
No, I said you could.
Yeah. Oh, this is where you can turn the lights off. This is the heart of the ship right here. I mean, you can fool somebody quick. You know, turn off the tower on the whole ship. You know, this is like Dad. This is like you know, you showed me with your work and everything, and at companies and stuff like ICI and stuff. This is a little smaller caption on it due to the fact it's a Navy ship. I can't take you outside with this due to the fact that they're Japanese Navy boats and stuff, and I don't want to, you know, it's kind of confidential, but luckily I can show you what's down here. Over there is all the, for the main feed pumps and stuff like that. And this is the generating side of the SSTGs. And then over there is the steam turbine.
Turbine runs the generator.
Turbine runs the generator. This is your generating.
It tells the temperature in the generators to make sure you don't overheat.
Right now they're 150 degrees.
Now they're not right.
Nah, they're off.
Yeah.
Over here, this is an escape hatch in case of a fire or something. The door's taken out. The door slides open so it closes really quick in case of a fire. You come out here and you go up and it takes you up to the upper view. Get a little graphic for you, especially for my folks. They want everything to be specific.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
Okay. There's not really much to show around here. I'll show you over here where we oh, you want to know how we make salt water into fresh water? Come on. Water tastes a little, you know, it's going to be a big shock for me when I go home because I'm used to tasting, you know, water that's made by the ship. But
Contact coordinate.
oh, by the way, this is the hammer. Sledgehammer. And right over here, it's taking apart. This is your, what do you call this?
Evaporator.
Yeah, I know what it was.
This.
Hey, go ahead, explain it, Black. He's an MMA school graduate.
This. Bessie soup. This.
Bessie soup.
This is. This. Mag machine. It's pride and joy. She's stripping apart right now because
Speak up.
we're overhauling it. We're gonna fix it. It's broke right now. So
Yeah, it's broke. It wasn't running correctly. Well, what happens is you got 3 stages. Salt water goes into the second stage, starts to go into fresh water, and then 3rd stage is fresh water. And this is all salt water. Runs in and runs out. The little tubes and stuff all the way in here. It's very hard to explain, as I really don't know what it is. But what it does, it makes salt water into fresh water. It evaps. And all the salt accumulates in here. Sorry about that, Bessie Sue. And then goes back out to the sea. So whatever salt we take, we try to replace for all the fishes. And, oh, this will interest you, Dad. Check this air compressor out. This is number 1 L-Pack. So what do you think? Doesn't have a big, here's the storage tank for it. Whatever it needs, it starts up again. So it's a Worthington L-Pack. I don't even know how to operate it. It's the MM. And you got salt water to cool it. Got a little dense heat exchanger. You got lube oil back in there. It's electric run. It's 2 pistons. Big electric motor back there. And then all these lines here, right here is your 150 auxiliary steam. And then over here is your like 100 to 75 psi steam, which is used for your laundry and your galley work, and for all the officers and the big guys up ahead. They need the steam to take a shower and relax while we sweat the load down here.
Let's not get our hands dirty.
What's that?
An officer. Let's not get our hands dirty.
Okay, like I explained to you before, I said in my letters, here's the reducers, the 600 to 150 reducer. You got 1 Bravo on this side, and you got Alpha on this side. This is your inlet. So what happens is your 600 auxiliary steam coming from your steam drum, comes in here, comes into these lines here, goes in your inlet, comes up through here, and there's a little key up there, reducer, which shoots it into 150. These are feed water drains all the condensate. I open these up before I start it, and then I gotta set up the reducer. This is your outlet. So this is fully opening outlet of 150 steam comes out. So what else? That's about it in the engine room. Let me take you over here. Some fire equipment.
Get on.
Oops. If you can see, can't see. I'll take you to another one with a better light.
Yeah, better light. The water fountain.
Oh, water fountain. Can't forget the water. That's where I brush my teeth.
Yes, he does brush his teeth. He just learned something.
You gotta slow down a little bit. Right over here is 1301 Halon. Okay? So right now it's secure because we're not, we're not really using any fires. We're not having anything on the line. But we have PKP and we have AFFF and we have salt water to fight a fire if we have to. But halon system is the main thing. We have a fire and we push that halon button. We have 60 seconds to get out. Another thing is, Dad, you know what halon is. You've heard about it, so that's another thing. So let me take you outside. Let me shut off for now, and I'll take you upside around the ship. I'll take you out. I think I can take you outside, show you what It's kind of dark outside, isn't it? Yeah, it's dark now. It's 8:03
Batteries are
at
starting to
night.
die anyway. I can catch that part later.
Huh?
Batteries are getting wrecked.
Oh, they're getting dead.
Yeah.
So
It'll still run for a while.
Yeah.
The lights come on.
I'm gonna secure now. I think I showed you enough. Your LP. Let me show you the engine a little bit before the batteries die. Okay, we're looking at the back side of the engine right now. You got your HP and you got your LP. Steam comes in. I'll show you. I'll draw you a diagram of the steam cycle when I get home. Basically, what this does is it makes the ship move, and I make steam to make the ship move, or I help to make steam to make the ship move. And then there's your shaft, and it goes all the way through
To the shaft alley.
Shaft alley. Right there, you got your bearings right over there. You got a bearing over here. There's a lot of bearings to keep it from doing an axial movement and keep it from, moving any which way but loose. It keeps it moving straight. You don't want to get any movement on the shaft because it'll start to vibrate big time. Right over here is your jacking gear. Main reason for your jacking gear is to keep the shaft at a slow rotation. It rotates all the way around in 7 minutes after when we secure the engine, due to the fact the shaft won't warp or anything. Okay? So that's about it. I will explain more to you when I get home. Hopefully I get home safe and sound and we can drink some beer and have a good time. Or drink some soda. Let's talk about that. Okay? So I will see you later. And my hair's a little messed up right now. And my eyes are black because I need some sleep. Plus I'm dirty, as you can tell. So, oh, by the way, you want me to show you who you look like?
It's already playing.
Oh, it is? This is Art, by the way. And the date on the film and everything's a little off right now. It's still the 31st of March, 92, 2006, which is 8:06 p.m. So like I said, I'll see you later, folks and friends. Bye.